Thanks for clicking on to the Thursday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Yeah, I'm back home, but blink and it's gone. I'm actually heading down to the dentist today for the first time since COVID, and it happens to be 3.5 hours away. Who drives 3.5 hours to go to the dentist? Only idiots like myself. If anybody can recommend a dentist within the Inverness area, I'd happily receive some recommendations. Of course, it's difficult to say with the NHS places not taking new patients, but I've been up in I've been up in Invergordon, for 2 years now, and it's been a few years since I've been to the dentist. So I'm gonna have to make the trek down to Kirkintilloch today to get the old mouth seen to, and no, I don't have any toothache or anything. It's just a routine checkup, trying to keep up to date with things, of course, and it's been very difficult since the beginning of COVID. But if anybody can recommend anywhere within the kind of Inverness, Dingwall area, I would greatly appreciate it, because it would save, a 7-hour drive, to go to a dentist. And when you're up and down the road every day with work, that's the last thing you want to do on your day off. But anyway, this is the 2-meter temperature anomaly for the first week of July. Below normal across the UK and Ireland, north of France, the Low Countries, southern portions of Norway. The focus of the heat, central and eastern portions of Europe. Over the next 10 to 15 days, it looks as if we're going to see a significant shift in the position of anticyclonic weather, i.e. high pressure. We're going to start to see it shifting more towards Western Europe with a trough over eastern portions of Europe. If only it was that simple, right? We are going to see, drier, brighter, sunnier, hotter weather across the UK. The question is the finer details. Positioning, strength of the high is going to determine what kind of weather we get in certain areas. Now you can see here, this is off the latest run of the GFS ensemble. So it's all runs coming together, so you've got a better idea instead of having one individual run and then it shifts around to something completely different the following run, as we've seen. It's better to look at the ensemble. It gives you a better handle on things. Upcoming 5 days, area of high pressure that's been just flirting with the British Isles, positioned just to the southwest between the Azores and Ireland. We've seen plenty of weather coming around the top of that area of high pressure, bringing pretty windy conditions across the north yesterday, showery conditions and cool temperatures as well. The reason why we're seeing this shift in the upper air pattern is down to the tropics. The Mount-Julian Oscillation now shifting into the western portion of the Pacific Ocean. That's affecting the mid-level pattern by reshaping the upper air pattern across the North Atlantic and across Europe. So you can see here, this is the area of strongest convection now over Indonesia, edging towards the western Pacific Basin. As we play it through the loop here, you can see that focus of green really starting to kind of push into the western portion of the Pacific Ocean. And in turn, we've got a lot of downward motion, sinking air, and that is also affecting the British Isles and western portions of Europe. So the emphasis would be on high pressure, focusing more over western portions of Europe, generally speaking. Now, as we play through this loop here, this is taking us into the second half of July. This is where the problem is. Now, remember yesterday's video I said extreme heat will be a short-lived event. That doesn't mean, however, that the broader picture is warmer and drier. We could see a significant run, particularly southeastern portions of the British Isles, a significant run of upper 20s to low 30s, in the pattern. The problem is that it's, the extremity of the heat is likely to be very short-lived indeed. A burst of extreme heat from southwestern portions of Europe up into the UK, and then I think the Atlantic kicks that out of the way once again. But you notice here the southward progression of that mean ridge means that we've got low pressure not that far to the north of the British Isles, and always that risk of weather coming in over the top of the high. Something similar to what we've seen so far during the month of July here. Looking at the precipitation, you can see here that we've got plenty of dry conditions to speak about here. You can see here firmly below normal upcoming 7-day period, 6 to 12 day. No surprise, we've still got drier than normal across potentially the northwest of Scotland and the islands, wetter than normal here, and that would be because we've got Atlantic low pressure getting closer and closer to the northwest here, and the 10 to 16 day, you can see here again much of Europe below normal precipitation wise. Temperature wise here, you can see that we've got the same idea. We've got warmer than normal starting to show up. But look at the northwest of the UK. That's quite interesting. But upcoming 5-day period, below normal now, Central and Eastern Europe. So we've got that complete flip around, if you notice here. Warmer than normal up the western side of Europe. Ireland into the warmer than normal as well. I'm sure folks here will be glad to see that. This is the period between the 6 to 10. This is the window where we see the potential for significant heat. How significant? I would say 36 to 38 Celsius, possibly 39. That, I think, is the ceiling in which the thermometer could go in the British Isles here, and it would generally be down across the southeast, of course. That southeast corner, we could challenge the record set back in July 2019. And of course, during that heat wave, it came and went very, very quickly indeed. And I think that is what could happen this time around here. So looking at the finer details here, this is off the GFS. And let's have a look at the 850 millibar temperatures real quick and see what it's showing. If I can actually find it, that would be handy. So high pressure kind of now starting to bounce its way into the British Isles, settles things down. Notice here though, by tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow morning should I say, cooler than normal, or should I say, cool, fresh at 850, modestly warm with plus 12 Celsius in that area just to the west of London here. Translate that down to the surface and you're knocking on the door, I think, of 30 Celsius here. So you can see here, this is the temperature profile for tomorrow, and we've got 28 Celsius to the south and southeast of London, as you can see here, but still fresher than normal conditions across the top, with weather coming in off the Atlantic. That has been the story all along here. So let's have a look again at the 850s. We'll play through the loop here. You can see here more milder air coming in. Plus 12 now in the central belt. So you translate that down to the surface, we could be talking about temperatures in the mid-20s in Scotland, for example, here. Continuing to play through the loop here. And then there is the battle. This is the battle that creates a real headache in terms of forecasting. So you're talking about plus 4 Celsius at 850 over the Northwest Highlands to, what would that be, about 18 to 20 Celsius down across the Downs and Kent here. We've got a very sharp gradient here at 850. Notice here as we continue to play through the loop here, then there's that short burst of heat here. We've got 25 Celsius at 850 on the south coast of the UK. What does that translate to down at the surface here? Let's have a quick look. And you can see here even temperatures at midnight, 29 Celsius. So real heat, 31, 32 degrees Celsius here. Let's see what the day before produced. And it's showing 30, 31 Celsius. This is Friday, by the way. This is next Friday. This is a week tomorrow, 1800. So I think that would be a little bit underdone, but I think some of the 40 to 42 Celsius that it was reading there like a couple of runs ago, that's overdone. I think it's somewhere in between that. But the grand scale picture, folks, is high pressure dominating, particularly focused over England and Wales. Scotland gets a few days where we may see temperatures rising into the upper 20s, for example. Then it comes back down. The area of high pressure kind of shifts around slightly, but the focus being kind of south and east of the British Isles. Therefore, it leaves a slight door open for fresher Atlantic weather coming in over the top here. So continuing to watch this setup as we go forward. Interesting times to come. Keep it right here on my YouTube channel. I do appreciate you watching today. Please like, share, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. Have a great Thursday. Bye for now.